Hello everyone, in this video we are going to continue NCERT in-text questions from the chapter Solutions of Class 12 CBSE. Let's get started with the first question of this video. Question number 2.6. H2S is a toxic gas with rotten egg-like smell. It is used for qualitative analysis. If the solubility of H2S in water at STP is 0.195 molar, calculate Henry's law constant. So in this question, we are supposed to calculate KH, Henry's law constant. And we have been given temperature and pressure and molality of the solution of H2S in water. So H2S is solute and water is solvent. Let's get started with the solution. Since they are saying that the molality of the solution is 0.195 in water, this term means that we are talking about 0.195 moles of H2S in 1000 grams of water. 0.195 moles of H2S in 1000 grams of water. So now since we have to calculate KH, which is Henry's law constant, as per the formula, which is P is equal to KH into X, we need to know mole fraction. If you want to calculate KH, you need to know pressure and mole fraction. Pressure is already given in the question, so you need to calculate mole fraction. But we know that mole fraction is nothing but number of moles of one component. For this case, it is H2S. Divided by total number of moles. So it is corresponding to number of moles. And number of moles in turn is weight by gram molecular weight. So if you want to calculate KH, you need to know X. And if you want to calculate X, you need to know number of moles. And number of moles is weight by gram molecular weight. Correct? So from the given molality, I already know that the number of moles of H2S is 0.195. And now I need to know the number of moles in this 1000 grams of water. So 1000 grams of water, in the sense 1000 by molar mass 18 will be equal to number of moles. Number of moles is equal to weight by gram molecular weight. Weight is equal to 1000, gram molecular weight is equal to 18. Altogether is 55.56. So since we know 0.195 is the moles of H2S and 55.56 is the moles of water, we can now calculate mole fraction. Mole fraction in the denominator, note that you're taking total number of moles of H2S and water. So it's got to be 0.195 plus 55.56. When you simplify this, the mole fraction is 0.0035. And now you have calculated mole fraction. You already know pressure. Since they said STP, standard temperature and pressure, it has to be 0.987 bar. So since you know pressure and mole fraction, substitute both the values and calculate KH, Henry's law constant. I hope you have understood how to solve this. In case you have not, please don't hesitate asking me the doubts in the comments. Let's get ahead with the next question. Question number 2.7. Henry's law constant for carbon dioxide in water is 1.67 into 10 power 8. So this time KH is already given. And this is at a temperature of 298 Kelvin. Calculate the quantity of CO2 in 500 ml of soda water when packed under a pressure of 2.5 atmosphere and a temperature of 298 Kelvin. So you know KH of the carbon dioxide, and you also know the temperature, you know the pressure, you know the volume of the solution, and you have to calculate the mass of carbon dioxide. Remember, quantity refers to mass. It does not refer to number of moles. So you have to calculate mass. Let's see how this can happen. As we already know, KH can be calculated with the help of this formula, P is equal to KH into X. But now in this present case, you already know KH value and you also know pressure because it's given. So using this pressure and KH, try to calculate mole fraction first. So mole fraction will be equal to the pressure of carbon dioxide divided by KH. You know both the values. So substitute both of them and simplify. When you simplify, the mole fraction that you will be obtaining is 0.00152. We know that mole fraction is equal to 0.00152 and this mole fraction is represented as moles of CO2 divided by total moles. When I say total moles, it has to be moles of CO2 plus moles of H2O. Since I'm talking about a very dilute solution, I can ignore the number of moles of carbon dioxide from the denominator. So X is equal to 0.00152, which is equal to number of moles of CO2 divided by moles of H2O. So now, as per the calculations that we have conducted in the last page, we already know the number of moles of water. Otherwise, you can also calculate it in one shot. You know that number of moles is nothing but weight by gram molecular weight. And you know that you are having 500 ml of water and the molar mass of water is 18. So you can calculate it from there. So when you know the moles of H2O and when you know the X value, using these two values, substituting these two values in the formula, you can calculate number of moles of CO2. And number of moles of CO2 is equal to 0.04. But in the question they asked you about the quantity. Number of moles you have, but you need to know W, which is nothing but number of moles into gram molecular weight. Number of moles is 0.042. You just calculate it, and gram molecular mass of CO2 is 44. So on multiplying, the mass of carbon dioxide is equal to 1.848 grams. I hope you have understood the approach to this problem. Let's move on to the next one, question number 2.8. So here you're talking about the vapor pressure of two pure liquids, 450 and 700 mm respectively, and the temperature is 350 Kelvin. Find out the composition of liquid mixture if the total vapor pressure is 600 mm per Hg. Also find out the composition of vapor phase. So you are having the pure solvent A's vapor pressure, pure solvent B's vapor pressure. And now when you have mixed them, there is some point where the total vapor pressure have become 600 mm. And according to Raoult's law, PA is equal to PA naught XA, PB is equal to PB naught XB. But since we know that XA plus XB is equal to 1, you can also write this term XB as 1 minus XA. So substituting the same over here. And we know that the total vapor pressure is equal to vapor pressure of all the components. And in this case, there are only two components A and B. So it is the vapor pressure of PA and PB. So now since I know what is PA and what is PB, I'm substituting both the values and I'm simplifying further so that I can derive a simple expression for P total. You don't need to derive all of this over here while you solve the numerical. This is nothing but Raoult's law, and I have included this expression over here so that you understand this concept clearly. So now, since you have the expression of P total, PA, PB and XA, substitute the known values over here. P total is given as 600. PA is 450, PA naught and PB naught are 450 and 700. XA is what you are trying to calculate and PB naught is 700. When you simplify this, XA is calculated as 0.4. And again, since XA plus XB is equal to 1, if XA is 0.4, XB can be calculated and XB will be 0.6 after calculation. So since we know PA is equal to PA naught XA, you know what is PA, you know what is PA naught and you know what is XA, right? PA is vapor pressure of component A in the solution. And this is what we are calculating now. PA naught is vapor pressure of pure solvent A and XA is mole fraction of A. You know these two terms. PA naught is given in the question, XA we just have calculated. Substitute them to calculate PA. Similarly, substitute PB naught and XB in this formula to calculate PB. So now you know PA and PB values. PA and PB are nothing but the individual vapor pressures of A and B in a mixture. Now, this is the first component that we have to calculate. In the second component, we are talking about the vapor phase. In vapor phase, mole fraction of liquid A is equal to PA by PA plus PB. PA is given, which is 180. PB is 420. So in the denominator, since you have to take total number of moles of A and B, it is 180 by 600. When you simplify it, it is 0.30. So this is nothing but the mole fraction of component A in vapor phase. And mole fraction of component B has to be 0.70 because we know that XA plus XB is equal to 1. And now if you're confused about from where did we get this 180, from where did we get this 420 values, here is where you have calculated. It's already known to you. It's already given now, correct? So this is how you solve the question. Let's move on to the next question, number 2.9. Vapor pressure of pure water at 298 Kelvin is 23.8 mm of Hg. 50 grams of urea is dissolved in 850 grams of water. Calculate the vapor pressure of water for the solution and the relative lowering of vapor pressure. This question is also based on Raoult's law. In the question they have given that the vapor pressure of water P10 is equal to 23.8, and they also have given mass of water 850 grams, mass of urea 50 grams. You can also calculate the molar mass of water and urea from their formulae. Now you have to calculate the vapor pressure of the solution first. And to calculate vapor pressure of the solution, we need to take the relation between the relative lowering of vapor pressure and mole fraction. So relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to mole fraction of the second component, which is N2 by N1 plus N2. We already know that number of moles is equal to weight by gram molecular weight. So substituting the same in these number of moles, will be getting this expression. And now simplifying this by substituting the known values, you will be calculating P1 as 23.4 mm of Hg. So now the vapor pressure of water in the given solution obtained is 23.4 mm of Hg, and its relative lowering is 0.0173. I hope you have understood how to solve this. And if you are worried about how did we get this 0.0173, it's here. Relative lowering of vapor pressure P10 minus P1 divided by P10. This term is called as relative lowering of vapor pressure. You calculated this as 0.0173 during your calculation, right? So let's move on now to the next question, number 2.10. Boiling point of water at 750 mm Hg is 99.63 degrees Celsius. So you know the pressure, you know the boiling point. How much sucrose? Sucrose is a solute you are talking about, which is cane sugar. C12H22O11 is the formula. You can calculate molar mass from the formula itself. And you now in the question they are saying that how much sucrose is to be added to 500 grams of water such that it boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Molar elevation constant for water is given. So you have Kb and you have pressure. You have the boiling point of the pure solvent. This is boiling point of the pure solvent Tb0, and you know the mass of the solvent. You also know the boiling point of the solution. After adding sucrose, the boiling point needs to be 100 degrees Celsius. It is the boiling point of the solution. So knowing all of these values, now what do you need to calculate? You need to calculate the mass of sucrose. The W, small w, mass of solute have to be calculated. So we need to use the formula of elevation of boiling point. We know that elevation of boiling point delta Tb is equal to Tb minus Tb0. Tb is equal to boiling point of the solution, which is comparatively higher, and Tb0 is equal to boiling point of the pure solvent. So Tb as per the given question is 100. You're converting this into Kelvin, and Tb0 is 99.63 converted into Kelvin. So delta Tb is equal to 0.37 Kelvin, and we already know the formula that delta Tb is related to molality. Delta Tb is equal to Kb into molality. We know the formula of molality also. It's weight by gram molecular weight of the solute into 1 by W, which is mass of solvent taken in kgs. So you need to first of all calculate molar mass of solute, which is sucrose 342 grams per mole. And the given mass of the solute is what you're trying to calculate as per the question. And what is the weight of solvent? Weight of solvent can be calculated. In fact, you don't even need to calculate it. It's given in the question directly as 500 grams. So substituting all the known values, you can calculate W2 as shown. And the mass of sucrose is going to be 121.67 grams. So this much of sucrose is needed to enhance the boiling point of the solution to 100 degrees Celsius. Yeah? I hope you have understood these questions. The remaining questions will be discussed in the part 3 of this video. I'll see you in that video. Until then, bye-bye.